I made the mistake, and I say a mistake because it usually ends up being a mistake when I do this, but I made the mistake of starting 2 books at once, one physical, one Kindle. And the reason for that is quite simple. I am trying to get through my physical TBR this year. I know. But when I go in the bath, I like to read on my Kindle. Or if I have to take my sister somewhere and I'm sitting in the car waiting for her, I can read my Kindle. So I started reading Hazelthorn on my Kindle. And we'll deal with Hazelthorn first. We'll deal with the other in another review, because I've done this twice in the last few weeks. Now, Hazelthorn is by C.G. Drews, and I have to be honest, when I started reading it, I was getting severe deja vu, because if you remember, if you've been here before, or if not, you may have read it yourself. At the start of the year, I read Don't Let the Forest In, which was a creepy, gothic, nature-based horror involving creatures in the woods and all this lovely stuff. Very gothic, very creepy, very nature-based. And I started reading Hazelthorn, and I was just thinking to myself, this is just the same premise with different characters in a slightly, not very, but slightly different setting. Instead of a school, they're in an old mansion. And I thought, I enjoyed Don't Let the Forest In. I really did. But do I want to read it again with a few name changes? And this went on to about 50% of the book. Now, when you get to 50% of the book, there is a holy shit revelation, if you like, almost a mic drop moment when you realize something. And then not long after that, there is another revelation. So from that point, it sort of keeps you on your toes, and you're flying around, following Evander, and what's going on here, and where did his name come from? What is he? All of these questions, and you want to make it through to the end. And I did. And the second half of the book is where it really went off on its own wild path through the garden. I just love the idea visually of people being sacrificed to a garden and then being provided jewelry and rubies in payment, if you like. It's just such an image in your brain. But yeah, I really enjoyed it in the end. It was a bit of a slog to get to the point where everything started to shift, but it was worth it. And in the end, I gave it, I think, 4 stars. It was only because the first half dragged on a little bit and was too similar to the other book that it sort of went down a little bit for me. But yeah, I mean, C.G. Drews is much like T. Kingfisher, becoming almost an auto-read author for me. Because while occasionally a book takes a while to get going, when it does get going, it really gets going. And I just think it's one of those authors that I'm just going to pick up every book that they read. I might not like them all, but the instinct is there to go and get the next one, so they must be doing something, right? Yes, we gave it 4 stars. If you haven't read Don't Let the Forest In, go read it. If you haven't read Hazelthorn, go read it. I think it's on a Kindle deal right now for 99p, and that's how I got it. That might have been last month, but I think it was this month. Go check it out anyway. Pretty good.